As Heathrow gets ready to build its third runway. This year is said to be the airport's busiest, with more than 76 million passengers.
Next, please.
Meaning, to stay on schedule, a plane has to take off or land every 45 seconds.
We're busy all the time. It's relentless.
We're going to have trouble. We've got trouble.
Operating at full capacity, there's no room for error.
This is a disgrace.
Even the smallest problem can cause chaos.
I swear.
And cost the airport and airlines millions of pounds in fines and lost revenue.
Every minute, every second here is money.
But working against the clock, there's an army of staff.
We're going to try our best to get you there.
From plumbers...
Starting to get that little smell of sewage now.
...to pilots.
They're just such pretty machines.
And specially trained police.
Until we've left the plane, you cannot leave the plane yourselves.
All battling to keep Britain's busiest airports flying.
There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 on approach now for 9 left and 9 right.
Nearly 500,000 planes fly in and out of Heathrow every year. And numbers are rising.
And then we'll try and get departures in between as well on 9 right.
It's 6 a.m. Prime time for long-haul arrivals from the Far East and US. More flights will land now than any other time of the day.
Speedbird 34, good morning. Runway 09 left, clear to land. Surface wind 1006 knots.
Due to overnight noise restrictions, most planes have had to wait until now to land.
Yeah, perfect. Beeline at the Yankee X-ray company A380, parking at stand 562.
Air traffic controller Gavin must now land one flight every 80 seconds to ensure Heathrow's day starts on time.
At 6:02, you can have anything up to 35 to 40 aircraft in the air waiting to come in to land. Speedbird 34, good morning. Runway 09 left, United 958, runway 09 left, 958, good morning. Continue approach, runway 09 left, the wind 1006 knots, number 2. We are alternating runways. We're landing one on the left, one on the right, and we're doing that for an hour. Speedbird 78, follow the green, stand 335, good morning. Checker, roger.
At 7 a.m, Gavin's already landed 43 planes. And that's just the beginning of what promises to be another very busy day. While the planes stack up in the sky, air traffic control also has to deal with all movements on the runway, including engineering vehicles.
I don't know where pilot sits. Sit on the right or the left?
How am I supposed to land?
I think it's
I'm the apprentice. You should be telling me.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a pilot, am I?
Today, airside engineer Mo is teaching apprentice Matt how to check the runway arrival lights that pilots use to guide planes in safely.
Be on the left-hand side. The pilot sits on the left, actually.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I was watching Snakes on the Plane.
Snakes on the plane. That's how you learn that the pilot sits on the left. Snakes on the plane. I'm never really working on the runway or that close to it. I've always been kind of around in the surrounding areas doing jobs there. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's actually like to be that close to them.
To get to the lights, engineers Matt and Mo must first cross the live runway. And there's no let-up in the oncoming traffic.
158, continue approach to 27 right, surface wind 320 degrees 8 knots.
There you go, we've got the landing runway, bro.
All good. Knowing that you're actually going to go across the live runway, that you could actually be in a plane's flight path, is kind of a big deal, really.
With 6 flights on approach and planes landing at speeds of 180 miles per hour, the crossing must be expertly timed by air traffic control.
Turning 5.
5 tower.
5 plus 1 is holding short at Alpha 7 to cross runway 27 right.
Beta 5 plus 1 behind the landing 777. Cross 27 right to Alpha 7 and report vacated.
Matt and Mo are being escorted by specially trained airside safety drivers.
No, I'm quite excited to do this.
So basically, he's given them permission. After the 777, we can go.
Carrying on 30 on final.
Go, go, go. Punch it, bro.
I'll punch it.
There's less than 90 seconds until the next plane lands.
He's obviously given us that time slot between that plane and the next plane landing to basically cross, yeah. Perfect timing, eh?
Perfect time.
There are 4 arrival lights at the left of each runway. They must be set at their own unique angle to safely guide in landing planes.
So you see that now, that's in the middle.
Okay.
So you know that's bang on 2.25, yeah?
Precision is vital. One wrong angle and a plane could crash land, bringing Heathrow to a standstill.
2.45, yeah?
Alright, so that's 2.
That's 2, yeah?
So we go down to 2.45. I didn't realise you can actually get this close and do work. It's quite strange having it land right next to you when you're doing work, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm a bit scared to do the next one. What's the plane come?
If that's tilting. Do you see that tilting?
Oh, we're awfully close.
That's all right. You're scared.
Jeez. Strong old wind.
Watch your hair, Matt.
Watch my hair.
Hey, go on, go on.
Next, they need to drive a mile south to check the lights by the takeoff runway. Planes here travel even faster, up to 200 miles per hour.
That's a large plane, Mo. It's a large plane.
It's only a baby plane, come on.
Approaching is one of the world's largest aircraft.
Oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared.
The 747 weighs around 380,000 kilos.
Look at the size of it.
Its wingspan is the width of a football pitch, and any moment now they'll be just 7 meters from it.
That wing is going to come right over my head.
I'll cover your hair, Matt.
Hold my hair, hold my hair. Dangers of the job.
There's the dangers of the job. All right, is
that all good? Right, let's get back.
What airline? Air China? ASEAN? Taiwan? We don't have Taiwan here. Stop. Which airline are you flying? Which airline are you flying? Which airline are you flying? You're in the wrong terminal if it's Taiwan.
Nearly 1.5 million people pass through Heathrow every week.
Sir, there's an empty machine there you can use to check in, then just come back to Zone 8.
In Terminal 2, Passenger Experience Manager Sue is responsible for keeping the hordes of passengers moving smoothly, to avoid them missing their flights.
Sir, can you shoot me right down, please?
Sue might have 23 years' experience,
So here, I'll use this one. Oh, you've got one there.
but every day brings a new challenge. Today, she's been called to deal with a disruptive passenger.
Quite often it's just that they've raised their voice. They're not really aggressive, but you do have to hurry just in case that they are. Some do become a little bit difficult.
She called you because he's not listening whatever everybody is saying.
I am telling them, I have to, when they invite, my son is studying here. I came from far, up to London, from London to Dublin. I have a ticket. I have ticket.
Fortunately, this passenger isn't aggressive, but he is struggling. He's arrived from Doha and needs to connect to Dublin. But his connection is booked out of Gatwick, 38 miles away.
This is London, Dublin.
No.
I know.
Gatwick.
LGW. I have no idea.
Right, okay.
Because I am
So,
newcomer.
all right. It's a different airport, sir.
But you already missed that flight now.
From London. Doha, London, Dublin.
sometimes you get passengers and you can explain it to them a million times and they just don't understand. No.
London, Dublin?
No.
Yeah.
No, listen. London Gatwick, London Heathrow, Doha to London Heathrow, London Gatwick. Unfortunately, what the lady said is correct. You'll have to purchase your tickets and then speak to your travel agents when you get back.
I paid the payment.
Sir.
What is my fault, you tell me?
Sir,
The next flight from Heathrow to Dublin leaves in under an hour. Sue is desperate to get him sorted so the ticket desk can deal with other passengers.
So you need to, okay, so I understand that, but you need to buy a ticket now from Heathrow to Dublin because you're going from Gatwick.
How much I will pay?
I don't know.
But
How much?
this
156.
156.
London and Dublin, 150 pounds is too much for me.
Well, then there's no choice.
I belong from a very poor country. India is not a rich country like you.
The gate for this flight now closes in 40 minutes.
You are a
Sir, stop
representative of the richest country in the world. Your parliament,
Right, sir.
I already paid. Now I am paying the double.
No, you have no choice. You rather need to buy a ticket and catch the flight, or you need to sit down and consider what your next alternative is.
I am paying the money.
You're paying the money?
Yeah.
Right, okay, let's buy the ticket then. Let's buy the ticket.
This is my penalty.
Right, okay, listen, sir, you need to
Oh,
do it now.
no,
otherwise
okay,
you're
you
gonna
don't
miss the
talk. I
flight.
understand you are good for nothing.
Have you got another, have you got any, you got 10 more pounds?
Yeah? No,
It's 149
I have no
pounds.
pound. No pound.
Right.
You give me?
Yeah,
loan?
I'll pay it out of my
Yeah.
purse. Because that is the only way you're going to
I
get on
paid
that flight.
30,000.
It isn't common for me to use my own money to pay complete strangers' flights. No, that isn't the case. Just get him to the Irish gate. It's better that we got him on this flight to his son rather than him be here maybe for days on end.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, sir. Thank you very much. That was the reason I gave him his £10. It saved my work later on.
Keeping Heathrow safe is a 24/7 job. To police it, the airport has 300 dedicated officers and its own police station, where today training is taking place for coppers who are new at the airport.
At the moment, how much control have I got over this? There.
PC Gary Lancaster is leading the session.
We have more control. This is very handy, getting people out of seats. Just stand up, please. Nice and slowly, take time. We're still in control.
I've been a policeman now for almost 20 years, and then the opportunity to join the airport came up, and I just saw it as a really exciting opportunity.
New boy Steve has just transferred from diplomatic protection.
Yeah, I like planes. I love planes. I could probably sit and watch the planes all day at the risk of people taking the mickey out of it. Yeah, I just think it's great how big lumps of metal can take off in the sky.
All new coppers at Heathrow need to learn how to make an arrest in the restricted confines of a plane. It sounds easy enough.
Without using any strikes, just try and pull my arms away from my body into a position where you can get your outside wrist lock on. Okay? Off you go.
Stop resisting. Relax your hands. Relax your hands, mate. Relax. Stop resisting.
Okay, how much effort is that?
I haven't finished yet.
Okay, what is working against you is the chairs
in the way.
and your position. So we're going to look at some techniques to make it a lot easier for ourselves.
The reason we're doing the training for these 3 days is because the airport's massively different. It's not like working in the centre of London. We're going to have to take you off the plane, my friend, OK?
I'm not getting off the plane.
You're not
until I
getting off
speak
the
to
plane?
Someone from customer services.
Why is that?
Yeah, I've just been treated like rubbish. In fact, I'm not even going to speak to them. I'm going to sit here for hours.
Jesse, at the moment you're under arrest for disrupting the
For what?
airplane.
Right, you grab his other arm. Get your arm out so we can see it. Put your arm out.
Looking forward to my first shift a lot. Yeah.
Has he got a seatbelt on?
No, taking it off already.
I think the thing I'm most nervous about is mucking up. Don't want to muck up.
Okay, and then we could move Jesse off the plane.
I might come crashing down in a blaze of glory with absolutely nothing happening whatsoever, or it could be the busiest day ever.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
The aircraft behind you is just starting engines, and hopefully they'll be calling a taxi in a couple of minutes.
There are over 10 different models of passenger planes at Heathrow. From the massive double-decker A380 with up to 600 seats, to the smaller A320 carrying just 150. Each one relies on the airport's network, from engineering to air traffic control, to keep them flying.
What time do you need to be able by? If you don't think that's going to work, then unfortunately the Etihad has not yet taxied.
Today, Senior First Officer Dave Sproat is on a special mission to collect the newest addition to British Airways fleet at Heathrow.
Hello there, how you doing? I'm here to check in for Seattle.
He's on his way to the Boeing factory in Seattle to collect a brand new 787 Dreamliner worth a cool £200 million. An innovative model that it's thought will change the face of air travel.
It's almost like watching the birth of a child, really. And even many years later, sometimes I've got in aeroplanes that I've delivered, and it really does give you a bit of a thrill to say, yeah, I was the one who brought this back.
But before Dave gets to fly his new plane, he's got 9 hours as a passenger.
Sneakingly, I sort of probably wish I'm flying the plane rather than sat back here.
Major emergencies are few and far between at Heathrow, but the airport's 100 firefighters are always on call.
Fire mobile to fire ground, 747 go fire.
Surrounded by fuel, batteries and electrics, aviation fires require quick response times, just 3 minutes. Today's watch are on their weekly drill, and firefighters Grant and Terry are taking the lead.
Aviation fuel burns at, you mentioned, twice the calorific value of petrol, so we have to be prepared for very hot scenarios.
Heathrow's specially adapted fire engines hold 11,000 litres of water, 6 times more than standard fire engines. In charge is airport fire manager Gary.
Our rig is a 747 front with an old DC-10 back. We have to train on the size of aircraft that come into this airport.
Some aircraft can carry up to 300,000 litres of fuel, and Heathrow must be ready to deal with the worst-case scenario. These powerful cannons dispense up to 6,000 litres a minute.
So here they are using their turrets to put out the fuselage and the engine fire. One at the front, one at the back, and another vehicle the other side, protecting the other side of the aircraft. And they're using a bit of foam here as well.
Once the blaze is under control on the outside, the firefighters head in to rescue trapped passengers. The team have only 90 seconds to complete an evacuation of up to 600 passengers. Heathrow's last major incident was 4 years ago, when a short circuit caused a fire on a plane.
Jolly Green Giant's 15 plus years old, so he's looking a bit burnt. So in the next 5 years, we've got to renew the rig, and I've got to look to procure a new one. Not cheap. About 15 million quid.
On the perimeter road, Steve's on his way to Terminal 2, on his first shift as a police officer at Heathrow.
What made you apply for the airport?
I fancy the change.
You're a plane geek?
Yeah,
That's the real reason?
Yeah, semi-plane geek. I'm paired up with a guy called Michael, who's very experienced, and he's going to show me the ropes. I have no idea what to expect today. It's just a case of finding out what comes my way, really, and taking it from there.
We're going to an inbound flight. There's a lady on board who's been circulated on the national computer as wanted for an assault. It's alleged that she's had a road rage incident and she's punched somebody in the face and in the body. And the plan is to go and find her on board the aircraft and bring her back to the police station.
Any passenger on an inbound flight to Heathrow who is wanted in connection with a crime is immediately flagged to police. Today's suspect is a British national returning from holiday in Turkey.
It's a brand new experience. I suppose it'd be almost like when I first joined the police and I went and got my first shoplifter from a shop. This says it's landed.
Yeah.
It's only doing 10 knots.
We're just waiting for the aircraft at the moment. Should be here in a couple of minutes. Once it arrives on the gate, we'll speak to the crew, go on board and hopefully find the person that we're looking for. What was the number, mate? 28?
28B.
There's only one way off the plane. It's only a matter of time until Steve puts his training to the test.
See, my experience of being on a plane, as soon as it stops, everyone's out of their seat.
Everyone's staying. That's about right. Fingers crossed they made an announcement beforehand for everyone to stay seated.
Last year at Heathrow, police made 2,000 arrests across the airport. PC's Steve Athors and Mike Perfitti are about to make another. They've received intel that a British national on board this flight is currently wanted for assault.
Ladies and gents, can I ask you to return to your seats, please? We'll be on and off as quick as we can, but we can't do it until you return to your seats, and you won't be able to get off the plane until we're off. So if you can return to your seats, please, be very, very grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
She's on 28A, wasn't she? Yeah, I've seen her, yeah.
Just there, mate.
Okay.
Is that your first name now? Could you grab your bags for us and come and join us at the front of the plane? We'll explain it all when we get off the plane. There's no point doing it amongst all these people. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Welcome to London.
Have you got your passport?
Nice pitch that. Thank you.
Did you have any idea why we're here?
No, okay.
No worries.
Basically, you've been circulated as wanted on our national computer for assault. And can you remember any sort of altercation you might have had with anybody?
The passenger is suspected of assaulting someone during a road rage incident in the UK.
What's going to happen, because an allegation's been made against you, and obviously we're duty-bound to investigate it. At this stage, you're under arrest on suspicion of ABH. Don't have to say anything, but may harm your defence. You don't mention a question. Something which you later rely in court. Anything you do say may be evidence. The reason for your arrest is for the prompt and effective investigation of the offence.
The suspect is taken to Heathrow's police station. She was later charged with assault and found guilty at trial.
My first experience taking off someone from a plane was all right, actually. It was a bit easier than I thought it was, and a bit more difficult than I was expecting, if that makes sense.
Just have a seat. We're only about 5 minutes away, okay? Mind your head as you're getting in.
My first shift's been great. It makes me look forward to doing the next one.
Couldn't ask for a nicer day to go and pick up a new aeroplane.
4,500 miles away, Dave's arrived at the Boeing factory in Seattle.
And here she is. Here she is. They're just such pretty machines. It's such a nice aeroplane.
The new ultra-high-tech plane has taken 4 months and around 2.5 million components to construct. And a lot of it is revolutionary.
Up until now, every aircraft has been made pretty much of aluminium. This aeroplane is made of carbon fibre, effectively the same thing they make a Formula 1 racing car out of. Carbon fibre is really light. This aeroplane is tens of tons lighter than it would be if it was made of metal.
56 tonnes lighter than a 747 means that it's 25% more fuel efficient and therefore better for the environment and cheaper to fly.
They're really expensive assets. When they're set on the ground, they're certainly not taking our customers anywhere. So actually, it's really important for us to get on and get going and take the aircraft back to Heathrow, where she'll live for the rest of her life.
In a few hours, an engineering team in London will prep the 787 for its first passengers. Back at Heathrow, the City of London's Animal Reception Centre stands as the first line of defence against diseases imported from abroad, offering protection from bird flu to fowl pest to rabies.
The thing about working here is you're always prepared for the unexpected.
In 2016, the airport's animal health officers processed 16,000 dogs and cats and 200,000 reptiles. Unless thoroughly checked, they could carry the risk of disease.
Whatever's arrived, we've just got to kind of deal with it there and then.
Today, Animal Health Officer Vicky must check 2 dogs for rabies inoculations. Their owner, Kaylin, has just moved to Britain from the States.
I have 2 pugs. One is 10, and her name is Fergie, Duchess of Ash Vegas. Fergie's quite portly. She's a portly pug. And the other one is Princess Lily Elizabeth II, and she's 5.
All dogs entering the UK must have had a course of rabies vaccinations or face quarantine.
What it is with a 3-year dog vaccination, you need to have
the whole history.
A 1-year vaccination done beforehand. So that's what he's finding out. And the other thing was there was no microchip number on the supporting document. So therefore we can't verify that that is specifically the rabies certificate for Fergie. Okay.
Britain has been rabies-free for 95 years. If the pug's paperwork can't be verified, they'll have to go into quarantine for 3 weeks.
They have said that we're missing a trail of rabies shots. Essentially, I'm missing paperwork. I used a pet moving company, so I was assured that it would be a virtual handover. I paid, embarrassingly enough, probably £5,000 to ship 2 dogs. I'm gutted. I miss them. I want to see them. I'm anxious because I can't help the girls. And they've been caged now, probably traveling between 12 and 16 hours.
With no sign of the vaccination paperwork, there are growing concerns for the health of diabetic pug Fergie.
So we've just come to sort of check up on Fergie. As we know now, she's sort of diabetic, so just want to make sure that she's okay.
Hello. Okay. I'm anxious. Fergie hasn't had her medicine now for probably close to 10, 12 hours.
No. Oh, you okay? You okay?
She takes medicine twice a day, so she's needing some medicine.
With the dogs in limbo, Fergie needs a vet's attention fast.
The older one, Fergie's diabetic. I just wondered if anyone would just double check on Fergie, if that's okay.
I'm not black and white anymore, I've got quite a bit of pink and fluffy about me, but that only comes out if it's required. If it's not, I just tell them, move.
Back in Terminal 2, veteran staff member Sue is busy keeping the terminal's 45,000 daily passengers flowing.
Go ahead.
Please requested to check in Zambi Bravo, the ticket desk.
Just affirmative on route. Hello. How are you?
Doing very badly.
I've heard. Okay.
This passenger missed her flight to Zurich yesterday because she was unwell and wants to rebook. but the airline is refusing to accept her rather excessive hand luggage. It's Sue's job to find a solution.
All these bags, it's a huge amount of weight.
It was just 1 or 2 kilograms extra or something.
No, this is...
okay that I can put...
No, this is huge amounts of weight. These...
I had an extra pair of jeans or something.
These are a huge amount of weight, so you're allowed 5 kilos hand luggage, or possibly 10.
Can I explain better? I'm allowed 1 piece of hand luggage.
Yes.
Plus the ladies' bag or whatever. And
Right.
this is what I use every day is my ladies' bag. And I've been walking with it for more than 1 or 2 years with
Okay.
exactly this same weight. I'm used to it. I'm allowed, to my understanding, 2 books. And instead of 2 books, I decided to take a lot of documents of mine
Okay.
to read through on the flight.
Right. This may be the case that you use this as a hand luggage. This may be the case. But just come with me for a second. Just come with me.
With space on board at a premium, this airline allows 1 bag of up to 8 kilos, plus a lady's handbag, which can't be bigger than 40 centimetres by 30 by 10.
It's 13 kilos. It's the first time I've been called to a handbag that weighs over 10 kilos, and of course those other huge bags as well.
I understand
Right.
the point of view that it is heavy,
Right.
and I acknowledge it.
Madam,
you know.
stop.
But I also have my point of view, which I would like you to understand. Women's handbag, it is not stated.
It is. It is.
It wasn't.
Right, okay, I'm not going to argue, but I'm telling you that it is. Say
So you're telling me that you do not want to accept this as my handbag.
Stop, no.
But actually,
Madam,
that is the
Madam,
handbag
let me
that
finish.
I walk with every single day.
Madam, let me
here,
finish.
And that is my
Madam,
favorite
please
handbag
let me
all the
finish.
time.
Right.
With Sue unable to resolve the situation, it looks like the passenger won't be flying today.
They're creating all this problem now, and they started to create a problem about this bag. They were trying to find any excuse so as not to take me forward.
She probably had a total of something like 30 or 40 kilos to take into the cabin, and that was unacceptable.
Back at the animal reception centre, it's not looking good for Kaylin's pugs.
So I'm just a bit concerned, obviously, she needs her insulin.
Is she not looking well?
No, it's just that she'll need to be refed again sort of for the evening, so we'll need to give her the insulin.
Animal Health Officer Vicky can't release the dogs without confirmation of their rabies jabs. If she doesn't get that, there's no option. They'll have to go into quarantine.
In my head, this played out that we would have been home by now. The paperwork would have been seamless. If we would have shared some kisses, we would have gotten in the car, gone home. I would have given her shot probably about 45 minutes ago. I'm in distress.
The long wait on paperwork now means diabetic pug Fergie hasn't had insulin for 12 hours. Vet Emma has been called in.
Going to see if we can get a little drop of blood from her and test her glucose with the view that if it's high we can give her an injection of insulin. 30 millimoles, so that's really high. Should be 5 to 12 and she's reading 30, so it's really high. Means we can give her some insulin and she'll be fine. She's so good, isn't she? There you go. Oh, well done. We let you go back with your friend. Yeah?
After 5 hours of waiting, there's finally news on the rabies vaccination paperwork. But it's not what Kaylin wants to hear.
So there was a gap in paperwork for both girls. So even though they've always had a course of vaccines, both of those, there was a gap at one point in time, which then apparently eliminates the fact that they've ever been vaccinated. So they need to go into quarantine for 21 days. So
It's not gone to plan. It's really difficult because there's not much you can say to really console them. Kind of got to just understand that this is their family a lot of the time. They love them so much. You can understand their frustration, especially when they've paid for a service and the dogs go into quarantine.
Spirit 34, good morning, runway 09 left, clear to land, surface wind 1006 knots.
Today, Senior First Officer Dave is flying a very special new arrival to Heathrow.
Clear to land, 27 left, speedbird 9158.
After a 9-hour flight, The brand new 787 is touching down for the very first time.
Speedbird 9158.
If you follow the greens then to stand 340.
We're now going to have a look at the engine on this aircraft.
For Heathrow-based engineers Derek and Sungi, the pressure's on to get the 787 ready for its maiden voyage.
It's quite unique to the 787. It's a very quiet engine, and as you can see from the sculpted cone at the back there, that's all to reduce the noise footprint of the engine.
The plane is 60% quieter than the 747. Every plane needs an engine run to check its oil levels before takeoff. After every flight, it normally needs 1 or 2 litres extra.
Check in to make sure that the blades are rotating freely, that there's nothing in the way, there's no foreign objects. Looks good to me.
The clock is ticking. Every minute it's on the ground, it's not carrying passengers and earning its keep.
Speedbird control, we're about to carry out an idle engine removal.
So Sylvie's now going to start these engines. And now we just look at the temperatures and pressures. So we're looking for oil pressure or temperature. We've got good pressure. It's all looking good.
There are now only 2 hours until departure.
They have that new aircraft smell, just like a new car, and everything's brand new and shiny, and it looks immaculate.
Over 200 passengers will be on board.
OK, my checks are all finished, the plane's ready to go, passengers are boarding, and should be going on site.
With the last checks done, the new plane can fly its first passengers the 6,000 miles to Tokyo.
As you can see, the terminal is quieting right down now. Everything is fine, and it's looking beautiful.
In Terminal 2, long-suffering passenger experience manager Sue has been keeping everyone moving for the past 8 hours. As the evening draws in, she's now on the lookout for passengers stuck at the airport overnight.
Where have you come from?
Nepal.
OK.
Kathmandu.
And you missed the flight because of?
The baggage was held up, train was late.
Train from where?
Terminal 4.
Oh, right, OK.
Still looking for the flight.
Right, OK, so calm yourself down. She obviously had a flight to Belfast, and perhaps the connection was quite tight, and anyhow, she's missed the flight. And now she's distressed because she's got to wait till tomorrow morning to get onto the flight. And that is it, really. I'm not quite sure what else to say.
Now this passenger faces a long night at Heathrow.
So what is the point of getting yourself, you've been all around the world, all around Nepal, and getting yourself like this? There aren't any planes tonight now. So, you know, there isn't any. So you've got all your things here that you can settle yourself down. Do you want to ring your mum? Use my phone to ring your mum?
I got my own phone to ring my mum.
Right, so you can ring your mum and say, Mum, I'm just a delayed. Do you know what time the flights are tomorrow?
9:50 in the morning.
9:50, 9:50. It's 9:50 in the morning.
The train to Terminal 2 was delayed by 10 minutes. There was a security thing or something. The next flight isn't until 9:50 tomorrow morning. I have no money either. No money.
It's time for some straight talking from Sue.
There is no reason to be this stressed out.
Sure.
Well, of course I'm sure. I don't understand why you're working yourself into such a state.
You didn't sit in the bath for the past 3 months in a rural village with no electricity.
We could have come home earlier if it was that bad.
I have to wait, like, I wanted to stick it out.
Well, there we go then. So you're making yourself into a terrible state, making yourself ill, because you're spending one night at Heathrow. I don't understand the logic. You've missed a flight. That's all you've done, is missed a flight. And here you are, acting like... What would you say he was acting like? What would you say?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Exactly. Most of the time, I would say that the passengers just want to be heard. But sometimes you do have to adapt to kind of being a bit motherly, you know, and pacifying them and kind of, there, don't worry, you know, everything's going to be all right, and, you know, here's a bag of sweets kind of thing.
With her flight rebooked and a hotel room for the night, it's another happy passenger for Sue.
Yeah, so now she's on her way home, which is a lovely end to my shift, because I can go home now and know that she's happy, safe, warm, and no more tears.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you. I want 02. Keep taking off runway 9 right, the wind not be
Oh, there he is. He's going to take off.
Take off 09 right, alright, go 102.
Oh, you can see him coming. It's a late takeoff, isn't it?
That's a very late takeoff.
It's midnight, and Heathrow's last flight has departed. But the day's not over for engineer Mo and apprentice Matt.
It can be interesting to be working through the night. Obviously, the runways are inactive, so you're doing jobs on the actual runways, and it's like a different world when you're doing a night shift compared to a day shift.
Tonight, Mo and Matt are carrying out essential maintenance checks on the lights that line the centre of the runways.
Why is it so important that we do this whole job?
So it is important. So imagine, like, if it was foggy, a plane's landing and they can't see the runway because the lights are too dim.
Yeah.
So they put the brilliancy up, they can all land safely.
Right.
We basically check that those brilliancies are at correct levels.
Right, got it.
Yeah?
Let's do this. Go.
Oh wait, I've got the handbrake on.
I'll take that off.
It's all safety first, put the handbrake down. Right, we're gonna go start of the centre line.
The LED lights are almost twice as bright as a normal household bulb. A sensor trailer at the back of the vehicle checks their brilliance.
Yeah, literally, I can't see anything. Just trying to follow the straight line.
Yeah, cool.
For the data to be accurate, Mo must drive directly over the lights.
Every time it beeps, it's hitting a light.
Right, got
Yeah?
it.
Matt's tablet shows if Mo is in the correct position or if he's veering off to the side.
Go to the right, you just tell me, yeah?
Right, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, red,
Go left, yeah? See?
It's a bit surreal, to be honest. Just 3 hours ago, there was planes taking off, landing literally every 30 seconds to a minute, and then all of a sudden, it's just dead silent like that. It is strange. The lights are what are in your face, that's what you can see. But in the surrounding areas, it's pitch black.
Yeah, so when it starts hitting red, white, you know we're coming to the end of the runway. If we were a plane, we should have taken off by now. But check the distance and tell me how long I've got left.
You've got 200 metres left.
Yeah, just keep counting it down for me and then I know when to stop.
100. 50. 35. 20. 9. 0.
Okay, driving quality moderate and lamps okay, yeah?
So your driving quality is only moderate?
But yeah. Well, I was proving to you that, like, if you go left or right.
Yeah, I'm going to start calling you Moderate Mo.
Tonight is Matt's last shift with airside engineering before he moves on to his next secondment in Terminal 2.
I'm sad to go, but as an apprentice, you have to experience everything at the airport.
Are you going to miss me, Matt?
Of course I'm going to miss you. You're Moderate Mo. We've come to the end.
All right, thanks.
Stop. Should we see how you're driving?
How was my driving?
Bet you get moderate again.
No, I better get better. Go on.
Good.
That's it. That's the best you can get.
You've upgraded to Good Mo.
Good Mo. Mo good.
I know.
Next time, a hunt for explosives.
the threat to UK mainland is deemed as severe.
There's a suspicious whiff underground.
If you had smelly vision, you'd be able to appreciate the rather lovely aroma of excrement.
And there's trouble at check-in.
It's busy, it's a full flight. I mean, you can see the queue, they're all business class.
Yeah, but that's not our problem.
No,
is it?
absolutely.
That's your
Yeah,
problem.
sure.